welcome to Sci-Fi Frontier. I'm Dominic, and I'm here with my co-host,
Wally.
And today we're going to be talking about the Joker. So we finally got out to see the Joker. It's been out for a while.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks for sure. So,
and so right off the bat, what was your initial thoughts on it?
Well, when I first saw the trailers of the concept of this movie coming out, I really wasn't very interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not the world's biggest Batman fan. Like I don't mind Batman. I've watched all the animated or the feature-length motion pictures from the 90s and Tim Burton stuff, the animated features, Justice League, so on and so forth, the animated series. And the Joker's always been an interesting character, but for me he's never been that inspiring of a character to really want to get to know anything about him. When I first saw these trailers, I really didn't think much, but the more and more they started to expand them, the closer it got to the movie, it got to be a little bit more interesting. So by the time we actually got into the theater and actually watched it, I was actually very, very pleasantly surprised by it. It was very, very dark, but it almost seemed like a sad story for just how society treated him. And this it was really society that turned this guy into the Joker. And it was very well done, very well done. And I don't know about you, but I think I saw lots of little hints of all the past Jokers over the years that kind of just make up this Joaquin Phoenix rendition. I thought that was very well done.
Yeah. No, same thing. Now I'm the Batman fan out of two of us, but when I saw the trailers for this, I didn't know what to think. And especially when I seen his makeup, very first time they showed a picture of his makeup, I was like, kind of curious. I was like, it didn't turn me off, but it was like I was curious but not excited. I don't know how
it really wasn't like the Batman, the Dark Knight Joker with Heath Ledger.
It looked quite a bit different.
He looked very, the way that he was portrayed in the movie. Again, spoiler warnings for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. But,
yeah, spoilers for anyone.
But he just did himself up to look like a clown because that's what he was trying to do. That's just the way that he was brought up from a young child, and then slowly discovering who he actually was. He was just a starting of a spiral down into the creation of the Joker. Now, again, it doesn't really follow the lore. I mean, my knowledge is that Batman really had a hand in creating the Joker, but this was more, if I had to describe it any way, I think I would describe it more as like a real life scenario. And it just, he didn't really get that superhero aspect of it.
It wasn't really like a superhero movie, like your traditional superhero movie. It was like this could actually happen in real life. It was
Absolutely.
Very grounded in reality.
Yeah, it was. And nice little hints, like nods to the lore. Thomas and Martha Wayne were in there, and so was Bruce and Alfred, although didn't play a big part, but
they're all in there.
They are all in there. So it played to the story, but it didn't actually affect. It was really just focused on the Joker.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. So when I was kind of skeptical about this movie, because I never liked the version, because they did a few different versions of Joker's origin in the comics. One version they did was he was a failed comedian. That was the one version I never liked, and that was the version they went with in this. But the way they did it in this movie, it worked. Like, actually, the spin they'd done on it, I really liked it and actually worked. And the other thing is, in the comics, like, Batman was always linked to Joker's origin.
Yep.
But in this one, they made some changes to the lore, but I think the story was so good, it definitely made up for it.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was like, just the other thing I found, like, the movie was like really gritty and real, like the way they the city was dark looking and garbage everywhere and run down looking. They did a really good job with that.
You're right to a point in that. Again, every rendition I've seen of Gotham in past movies and in animated features and comic books, they really make Gotham to look like a 1930s city.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't really get that feeling for Gotham in this
No,
movie.
I didn't
Like,
either.
it was more, again, grounded in a reality, and it was just, I don't know, maybe they just focused more on just the rough area of town because, he's kind of hard up for his, earning a living, and, that's kind of what you have to do, the welfare, seeing the doctors,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff, that's kind of where, I don't know if you'd call that stereotypical, but, you'd attribute more of that to creation of somebody like this based on that, so.
Now, can you see this Joker, the way he's presented in this movie, can you see this Joker becoming like the homicidal genius that the Joker was portrayed in say, like, The Dark Knight?
Yeah, well, that's a tough question. Based on what I saw, and knowing the fact that they are not doing any continuations of this movie, no sequels, no trilogies, no nothing,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really see him as a criminal genius.
No,
I think I saw him more as just, if I had to classify him as anything, I'd classify him more as an anarchist than anything else. He he started off with just, everybody made fun of me and who's laughing now, and it started out as a revenge, and then it turned into some killings, and then it just inspiring the people around him, and then that's where the downward spiral seemed to come from this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see him because he's like a very different Joker, like from the Heath Ledger Joker.
Oh,
like, there's some similarities, but like he doesn't have that super genius.
No, like again, the Heath Ledger Joker was phenomenal. Like, and again, when I remember all those years back when I first saw the concept images of Heath Ledger and his Joker makeup and the scars on his mouth, and I was like, oh my god, I don't see this going well.
Yeah, me too. I thought the same thing. I wasn't sold on that at all.
Yeah, I was thinking more of just like Jack Nicholson Joker, where he was deformed in the face. And then I thought of the Ricardo Montalban Joker back in the 60s.
Yeah.
And the painted up lips and everything on there, and he was just more of that psychotic laugh, but they really focused on that laugh in this, and it was just more of they touched on it, saying it's more of a due to brain damage, I guess, more than anything.
Yeah.
Because of he was beaten as a child and what have you. So, but I nothing against the Heath Ledger. I loved Heath Ledger. You want me to tell you about these scars? How I got these? That was brilliant. Yeah. I really didn't think I'd like that, but the way he portrayed it was just fantastic. The little sticking his tongue out and licking his lips kind of thing, and then that was the criminal genius.
Yeah.
That I would see. Like, he took a lot from the Jack Nicholson, from Tim Burton, and blended it into his own thing and turned it into a psychotic Joker.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant. And again, nothing against this Heath Ledger Joker, or sorry, not Heath Ledger, but Joaquin Phoenix Joker. He did a really good job.
Yeah.
Really, really good. And I mean, sorry to Jared Leto, but I mean, boy, you really really didn't hit the head on your version of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was your own. I don't know if that was your own rendition of doing that, or if that was the directorial way of wanting to do that. But wow, man, Suicide Squad was terrible.
Yeah, with that one, it's almost like he tried to go. This is what Heath Ledger did. Now I got to do everything the opposite.
Yeah, that's
what it almost seemed like to me.
That's probably
Jared Leto Joker.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that, but I don't know what they were thinking with that. The capped silver teeth and the tattoos. And that doesn't make any sense to me. Like he was almost like he was trying to be like a pit boss or something.
Yeah, it just didn't work.
And okay, the psychotic aspect, the laugh and everything. Yeah, sure, okay, you got that to a degree, but the Harley Quinn, with Margot Robbie there, like, she was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But that was definitely the wrong Joker to put that Harley Quinn next to.
Yeah.
Which was unfortunate. So.
Mm-hmm. So now this movie, do you think? Now, as it stands now, this is like, do you think this would work? Do you think that you could even make a sequel to this, or do you think they should just leave it alone, one and done? Do you think that would be the better choice?
Well, from what I know, they are going to leave it as a one and done. Yes, I think I would leave this alone.
Me too.
I really don't think. Like, the only other way you can go with this is to bring the lore of Batman into this. That's really the only thing you can do. You know, see you saw the young Bruce Wayne. The next movie will be him, teenager-esque kind of years. His parents are dead. He's off doing his training, blah blah blah. So you're really not gonna see much of him. You're gonna see the Joker kind of taking his foothold in Gotham, and then if they had to do a third one, then you're gonna see him coming in, and then we're just turning it into a Batman movie.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I would just leave this as it is. This was well done. It told a good story, and I would just leave it as it is.
Yeah.
Personally.
And the way this movie is set up, like I don't see how they could tie this into the DCEU, like the rest of the DCEU movies.
I agree with you on that one. It just won't fit.
No, I think it works way better as almost like an Elseworlds tale and just stand on its own.
Elseworlds, yeah, sure, okay, we could use that for the sake of argument. But yeah, it's definitely a standalone movie, but you couldn't blend it in with, say, the Titans.
No.
On Netflix. I don't know if you haven't watched that. I've watched that first season. That was fantastic too. I really didn't think I'd like that. I'm not a Robin fan at all.
Yeah.
But this was actually really good. I was really, really surprised by how good Titans was. And, they do hint at Batman in the first season. And, when there's Batman, the Joker's not going to be far behind. He's obviously going to make a cameo at some point in the series in this. So, but I can't see Heath or Joaquin Phoenix fitting into a role like that, or in any of the Batman movies. Like it just you can't do it.
No, I don't think so. I think it works just best on its own.
Yeah.
So now the only other thing, what do you think of the way they portrayed Thomas Wayne in this movie? Because he was pretty off from what he is in the comics, and he's been betrayed before. He was almost like a jerk.
He was
like a power hungry jerk.
That's exactly the feeling that I got for it. Now, my knowledge of Thomas Wayne is he's a doctor, he's a healer, and he was definitely did not come off as that in this portrayal. He was. No. I don't know. They never mentioned that he was a doctor. I don't remember.
I'm not sure. I think they did.
Maybe they did, but he seemed more focused on his political run for mayor of Gotham than he was anything else, and he just didn't seem like he gave,
it's like he
cares to anybody about what was going on around him. When Joaquin Finn went to his house and he started talking to Bruce and through the gate, and then found him at the theater there where him and his wife and Bruce were out enjoying a movie there. He really didn't come off as the nice
no,
guy.
They didn't. Not like he's been presented in other films. Like he's always had pretty much pretty good, he always came off as like a compassionate, moralistic person.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And
where in this one
it's and again, to make a reference, Batman Begins, when Christian Bale was reminiscing about when he was a kid and with his father was very nurturing.
Yeah.
Like the stethoscope and everything like that. He really came off as that type of a person. Now, there is that Flashpoint paradox where we've got this gruff Thomas Wayne that lost Bruce and Martha instead of himself and Martha, and Bruce growing up to be the Batman. Instead, Thomas becomes Batman.
Yeah.
I got more of a feeling that that's that Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
But in the movie he got killed. So
Yeah, the movie got killed,
So
yeah.
it can't be that. So
Yeah, because the kind of like the difference between the two that I kind of noticed is from what I've seen and read from all Batman comics and movies, Thomas Wayne was someone who was compassionate and actually wanted to help people who were down on their luck.
yeah,
Where this Thomas Wayne only said he wanted to help people down on his luck just for political gain.
that's that's a very accurate statement. That's what I would say. Like, again, Heath Ledger. God, I keep doing that. Joaquin Phoenix's mother in the movie kept writing letters to Thomas, and he kept ignoring them. Never got back to her. Cited her with they've had a past history. She had psychological problems. Blah blah blah. But again, if he was that type of a guy, why wasn't he giving her help?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
again,
that's a good point
so
too. Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
Now, is that the way that they transition the movie just so that it would make more sense?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
It's kind of interesting. They did do like kind of like that interesting take in there. Yeah. So there's that. But as far as that goes, like everything else is handled, but in the movie. But I guess it kind of works because it's one more factor that kind of drives the Joker.
Yep.
Down the path.
Yeah, and for the sake of storytelling, and if it's a one-shot movie, which is what it's looking like it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an okay. That's an okay overlook in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I can handle that. But for somebody who's not a comic book fan who wouldn't know who Thomas Wayne was,
Yeah, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't know, and they wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah,
so
it's not going to make a difference to them. Yeah.
So I don't think it was. I don't think it would make. It's not going to change your views of the movie. It's going to be. It's just going to be a very. It's a very interesting story. And it was very well done.
And now, and for a comic book movie, there's not a lot of action in it either, which is
not really. No, and again, yeah, you make a really good point. It's more. There's more dialogue and just watching him. When he's talking to a psychiatrist, that you're not listening to me. I come in here every day and I tell you all these things, the same things over and over again, and you don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and it just it keeps spoiling over that he's being ignored. Nobody's finding him funny, pursuing his comedic career choice to launch off of, and everybody that does take notice of him is only just making fun of him because of the way he's the social awkwardness of the character. So, and yeah, that's you could definitely see why somebody could get pushed down that path based on that type of treatment for so long. Yeah. So
yeah, they could eventually they'd snap. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I could absolutely see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I guess that we pretty much covered the whole thing. Any final thoughts on this movie?
The only thing I can really say is that, comic book fan or not, Joker fan or not, Batman, whatever, it's worth the money. It was not a movie to disappoint. Would I watch this again? Yeah, I would probably watch this again. Would I go and pay in the theater to rewatch it? I don't know that I would do that, but it's still definitely worth, you go to the cheap theater after it's been out for a few months. Yeah, it might be worth to see on the big screen again. You don't need to see it on the big screen, but it's definitely a good movie.
Yeah. I guess before we cut it off, one thing I just thought of here. Now, would you like to see more comic book movies done like this? Just to make things different?
That's a loaded question. I mean, could you really see Marvel starting to take their comic characters, in this kind of a direction? Say take Captain America's Red Skull and give Red Skull a solo movie of him, raising as a child in Germany and, becoming infatuated with,
Well, I guess they wouldn't have to necessarily copy the formulas, but you know what I mean? Like something that's more darker and grounded. You know what I mean?
You know what? The Boys is a TV show like that. right now, and I
Obviously.
think it would really be character dependent.
Yeah, obviously.
Very character dependent. Like, you can't just do this for anything.
No, you couldn't do it for anything. Like, you couldn't do this for Spider-Man.
No, absolutely not. Like,
you know, they're too bright and character colorful.
Yeah, but like even you know, him being a villain, even if you took a villain out of, you know, somebody else's lore, they're not all gonna work. So
no.
This one just had a pleasant go around, but I hate to say this, but this is just another offshoot of another Batman, right? So all they're doing is just keep beating the same dead horse with a stick until, you know, they get a kick. Well, they got a kick out of this one. So
now, do you think, because the way they seem, because this movie was pretty successful, do you think they're going to start cranking out all these, not understanding why this movie is popular? Do you think they'll just start cranking out a bunch of villain origin stories? Like, do you see, okay, now we're going to do Lex Luthor, now we're going to do...
I can't see them doing it, but, you know,
I hope they don't. I think this...
That being said, now you're putting that in my mind, and yeah, that's probably somebody's going to be listening to that, and they're gonna want to explore those options. But no, I wouldn't continue doing this kind of stuff. This was, if I had to pick an ending, this would be a good ending to doing, you know, a Batman Joker-esque kind of story, right? So. But again, we've got a new Batman coming up with that Edward...
sparkly vampire guy, Robert Patterson.
That was his name, yeah. And again, another Batman? Like, aren't we all Batmaned out? Like,
I don't know.
Isn't this kind of why Marvel was doing so well? Is because they've hit us with so much new, fresh content? Not just Spider-Man over and over and over again, Batman over and over again, Superman over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, it's Wonder Woman over and over and over again, right? So,
that could be a whole podcast.
Oh, it could be. Yeah, exactly. But, no, I would hope that this is where they're going to end it. Just don't do any more origin stories. Just
because this is like, just leave this as the gem it is.
As the gem it is, and it'll stand its ground. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I guess just to close it off. Definitely, it's a good movie to go see. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Something I would see again. Yep. And it's probably a movie I'd even pick up on Blu-ray, maybe. Yeah,
it's definitely worth a collection piece. It's one of those movies that you could, if you're in that kind of mood, it's definitely one that you could rewatch. It's not a one every 2 days kind of movie. But,
no, it's definitely once to take a look at again.
Yeah, once a month kind of thing. It would be probably a lot more than.
Yeah. So I guess we'll end it there. So that's everything we got to say in this video. Let me know what you think in the comments section. We will see you at the next one. Thank you to all of my subscribers, and thank you for watching this video. And if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification when new videos are uploaded.